Is it true that in 2019, a celebrity attacked you at an event because of something you said about them?
I think you're going to ask that.
Your mom actually sold pap, eko, ogi to raise you guys?
These are women that will say, ekaro, logi deo, you know. I was sharing pads to girls, and somebody from nowhere just said, your favorite influencer is sharing pads whereby his mom sells ogi. It all started when I was working with Mr. Yeni.
It's amazing how your life is just filled with all these references to eko and pap. Amazing. Only God could have written that script. Because Ayeni Adekunle's motto is Ninu Ikoko Dudu.
Inu Ikoko Dudu. Lomi Fufu Tinjade.
Leko Fufu Tinjade. I mean, so what is it with you? Everywhere. Pap, 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 pap. I mean, it's amazing.
Eko meji oyomi. Oyomi. Bam bam.
Great. So you put a yacht on the water. There was a helicopter. You were jumping out of helicopters. Proposing to your fiancé. I mean, that's how you propose marriage to your wife. What should I do if I buy a Rolls Royce tomorrow? Should I not post it at all? Should I post it?
At this point, the moment you are showing too much, EFCC will call you. EFCC also have to make a name. We arrested Mommy of Lagos.
I like that.
It's Clout for everybody. We are Clout.
So even EFCC is chasing Clout in this. It's not just about doing the work. There is still Clout, small Clout chasing.
Because tell me why they did three posts for Bobrisky alone. Everybody looking for attention. It's all the same thing. Strategy loyato. There was a day I said to myself, does this pastor not have other messages to preach to his congregation on Sundays? Every Sunday he's talking about a pastor A, he's talking about pastor B, he's talking about pastor P, pastor C. He's saying, how will pastor always tell me he had tea with God? How is that possible in Kiniko? A pastor that is older than you, that has been on it before you. But guess what? They are all the same thing. They are all content creators at the end of the day. Pamilerin, if you don't quit today, I'm going to sack you. And he said, if you don't make it in 3 months, come back, I will double your salary. And trust me, I left with the intention that I will not go and make it. Because you see that double salary, they just sit down, think of things when they are bored, and just push it out without reasoning. And that is where I see it. And I'm no offense to anyone if I take offense. Because rubbish is more than share. No good internet. No matter if I buy Starlink, oh my fuck up. Buy Kinecon link, oh my fuck up. I'm a quarrel for our country. Go big or go home. It's Pamilerin, for God's sake. Let everybody know about it.
My guest today is one of the principal forces in the online space on the African continent. As a matter of fact, if you want to do online business in Nigeria and you're not speaking to him, I am told that maybe you're not serious. And yet the amazing thing is that he comes from a very humble background, of very humble beginnings. In fact, his background is so humble that a couple of years ago, I was told that a couple of his detractors and enemies thought they could embarrass him by revealing the simple nature of his upbringing and background. On this one, I speak with Pamilerin Adegoke. This is the deep dive. Pamilerin, how are you?
I'm very fine, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Look, you do know that if you were to type in the words Pamilerin Adegoke on YouTube, that it is Apostle Adegoke Pamilerin that comes up, or who comes up? So I want to know, is it that you are an online influencer by day and an apostle by night? Please.
So YouTube probably took me for someone else. But if you type Adegoke Pamilerin on Google, it brings out me. It doesn't bring out apostle or prophet.
Well, it does bring out one apostle, Sam Adegoke, as the 5th or 7th entry. I mean, you've never heard about that.
5th or 7th. I think I saw it was, but he's an apostle, he's a man of God, so let's leave him that way. It's a good thing that a man of God is associated with us.
Okay, awesome. Look, I am fascinated by what you do. See, I consider myself a young man. I mean, I still think of myself.
Not anymore. You are clocking 60 something or 70 something very soon.
You are actually wrong. It's 102. It's 102. It's not even 60 or 70. Look, I still see myself as the guy, and I know this is amazing. And don't worry, you will tell me this when you get to about where I am. I still see myself as the guy who acted Diamond Ring. Okay? I still see myself as the guy who just graduated. But one of the things that makes me know that maybe I'm not as young as I would like to think is what you do. It's in the sense that I come from television. I really don't get this online space. I'm getting it better now, but what you do fascinates me. And this is why. Are you telling me that somebody who is, with all due respect, somebody who is nobody, so to speak, somebody who is not a recognized celebrity or a captain of industry, that anybody can just have a phone and start tweeting or writing or making their presence felt online, and then in a couple of months they can become a giant and a force to be reckoned with online? Is this what you're telling me?
So I'll first go back to the reason why you think you're not that old. I think it's because you have a very good gene, and because there's no wrinkle yet, and only God knows the antibiotics you take. For you to be this way, because I've known you since when I was probably 15, and you've not still changed. So let's leave that aside.
Thank you.
So the thing about this new generation is the fact that anybody can be anything in minutes, in hours. You probably blew for the wrongest reason, type something stupid, attack somebody, and boom, everybody's talking about it, and boom, you are popular. Bring out ring lights, start tweeting, make a video, post it on the internet. People like, he says stupid thing, but we are all riding, we are all alien. You're like, oh, good thing, man. Some sweet people are alien, like, nice one. Why is somebody like are condemning you? Like, what is this nonsense? But at the same time, everybody's talking about you, and before you know it, you have followers, you have real hardcore fans in months, and that is the internet, the age you are in right now. Like when you the oldies started, and it has to be television. Is either you guys are writing newspaper ads or newspaper columns and the rest of it. Your generation is your generation, but this new generation, anyone can just pick up any phone at any time and write anything stupid, and boom, you are popular.
Great. Thank God that the internet never forgets, right? So all of these things that you're saying to me, your generation, the older generation, you will, a day will come when generations behind you will say to you, and you will look and say, you'll be able to see the interview and see. More worry, as they say in Yoruba, don't worry, your time is coming.
Because that's the same thing you're talking about your generation. I just feel I always see. Do you know what you just said? You have to translate it, because trust me, a lot of us don't even understand what that means.
Don't worry, what I just said is that what goes around comes around.
Imagine, it's so simple, but any that, so you have to say moko. You have to, come on, generation is just something else.
Okay,
I'm so sorry.
Thank you.
I'm sorry.
Not a problem. Look, we actually embrace it. I like the wisdom factor that comes with growing older, assuming you're wise, and I like the respect that people give you, assuming that, again, Fagbay Wole, assuming that you have not discounted, assuming that you have not discounted, assuming that one has not discounted his age in front of the world, which actually tallies with what we're talking about. I find that these days people will do almost anything to go viral online. I mean, that I don't have any problem with that. My issue actually is that it seems that once you start that way, you have to find ways to top the ridiculousness that you started with. You have to be more ridiculous and more ridiculous. I mean, this is crazy. Is this sustainable? This is what I'm asking. Is it easier? Is it better? Is it perhaps more advisable for somebody to start gently and more nobly and not blow as much with an eye on the long term? than to want to blow at all means or by all means by doing anything. Because I kind of feel like if you blow by all means by doing anything, I kind of feel as if you're setting yourself up for a trap. You might blow faster, but you will go out also faster, as opposed to just building this thing over time. It may take longer, but it's going to last. I mean, am I the one who's getting it wrong again? Because I come from the older generation, like you said.
So I think the thing is, I'm happy we still have people like you. And for people like us that we are in the middle of between your generation and the new Gen Z, we could understand because we picked a bit of wisdom from your generation. But nowadays, these young guys they don't care about baby steps. We're able to learn baby steps from your generation, but they really don't care about baby steps. All they want I want to start now, I want to blow now, and that's all. They don't even care about what the future holds. They don't care about tomorrow. All they are more particular about is today. And it's today. Tomorrow will take care of itself, And what they don't realize is once you start by acting stupid, you have to top of the stupidity with another stupidity, and it continues. Then at some point you realize that it's a cameo, I want to change. Then you want to come back, and it's going to be a very, very hard one. But if you start gently, they don't believe. They will tell you that we don't want Surulere anymore. It's Olorun Shogo. No, or is it Olorun Shogo? We don't want Surulere anymore. They don't want to wait anymore. They also want to say, boom, I come out of school. Most of them don't even want to go to school anymore because they are making £10, $20, $50 from TikTok and the rest of them. So they don't even want to go to school anymore. Once they put up, they set up, what's it called, ring lights, everybody's an influencer. Nobody cares about school anymore. Nobody wants to become a doctor anymore. People don't want to become lawyers anymore. If you pick up 10 people and tell you what you want to become in future, it is going to be hard for you to see someone tell you they want to become a doctor or a lawyer or an accountant or a marine engineer or a this or a that. They want to, I want to be a content creator. I want to be a YouTuber, which is a good thing. And I'm happy schools are actually teaching these things, unlike our old days where our parents literally forced us to become lawyers, to become doctors, to become engineers out of our own will. Probably some of us wanted to become teacher, but our parents never allowed us. So I think that is just the difference between your generation and we are my generation, that we are in the middle, and the lower generation. We still have a bit of sense because we learned a bit from your generation. But the new ones coming, trust me, Kurofuni, there's nothing there.
Only Kurofuni. Okay, by the way, Pamilerin, how old are you?
I'm 30.
30, okay, so that's why, generation. Well, it's about in the middle because I'm 45 right now. That's why I like speaking with men. Men have
65.
45.
You mean 65?
45. 45.
Because when I was 16, I was already watching your TV.
Well, so here's the thing. Right? Here's the thing. I had the fortune to be one of those who started really early. Diamond Ring, that movie was when I was 19. I was I was 19 when I was. In fact, I remember that one man, the managing director of one of the companies with whom I was working when I was 26, looked at me one day and said, "Your parents must be very proud of you. How could you have achieved so much?"
So much
at 26. I mean, you're just 26. So I mean, I've had a long run at it. The trick is to be able to keep it going for a long time. To have it like a marathon and not a sprint, which is essentially what we're talking about. Many people think it's a sprint, and this thing has to last you the entire way. You have to go the entire way with this thing if it's going to be your career, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. Great. Now, before we leave this whole online space thing, I feel as if the Nigerian online space is particularly very toxic. I don't know why. Maybe it's because that's the only space that I'm used to. But I see other spaces online as well, and everywhere has its own share of fools. Its own share of fools, trolls, bullies, just generally people who are imbecile adjacent. But it seems that in Nigeria, it seems a whole lot more. This year, for example, there have been too many fights than I can count. It's just toxic. Am I feeling this way because I am Nigerian and that is the space in which I dwell and communicate with, or is this the reality? Do we somehow feel very toxic?
To be honest, that is the reality, and that's why you see many celebrities that will tell you that, I don't want to be on Twitter. Twitter is toxic, because that is where it is, and that's the honest truth. For example, I think for this part of the country or this part of the world, we and I'll use the government for example. If the government does anything good, you hardly see people talk about it. The noise is not a lot. But guess what? Let dollar enter 2,000. They have come. Oh, you met it at 700. Now, the dollar is appreciating. The noise has reduced. Nobody cares. Oh, they've not fixed this road. Oh, 16 years, you've not fixed this road. Blah, blah, blah. Let them fix that road. After all, the next thing you hear people say is it not their duty? Are they not supposed to do it? So that is the way we are built. I think the only thing is changing for you because you are probably growing and that toxicity could come off you, and you can easily detach yourself from these platforms. But for people that are always on this platform, if you can't join them, you better just leave because it's actually really toxic, and that's the honest truth. That's where it is.
Yeah, man, that seems like a bad position to be in. If you can't join them, you better leave and you have no choice. Because, for example, all the following that I have on Twitter, which is not a lot, I think I have about 42,000 or something. All that is just organic. It's not by any activity that I did. And I remember that number is, I realize that number is minuscule, but it really doesn't bother me. Chief Commander Ebenezer Obey said, tó bá lọ́gbọ́n fi síkùn ara ẹ, ayé ò fẹ́ kó yẹni. Tanfiani, ènìyàn ò fẹ́ ní fọ̀rọ̀. Tanfiani, all of that just mean that, look, if you have any little bit of wisdom, keep it to yourself. If things are working out for you, keep it to yourself. Don't share all your opinions and what is going on in your life, particularly your wisdom. Don't share everything freely in public. Unless, of course,
especially to strangers.
Yes.
Strangers that don't care. Even those things that you think are right and are actually right, trust me, they'll find a way to bring out the wrong in what you've said.
Exactly. So,
even though it's right.
Yeah. So I don't get Twitter. I've never gotten Twitter. I've tried a few times. It's just that how can people just come to a place and just start talking? It just defies imagination for me. I can't seem to get into it, especially as you have identified people who don't even know you and people who will never have an opportunity to talk to you or to even walk up to you in real life. They can just say anything to you on Twitter. How do you deal with that? In fact, before I ask you, is it true that in 2019, a celebrity attacked you at an event because of something you said about them?
I don't know. I think you're going to ask that.
Is it true? Did that happen? Don't worry. Take your time to answer the question. Take your time. We have all
I'm
day.
supposed to answer. I thought I moved.
We have all day. Take your time. I told you, Makalo, sure you have been stroking me since. Okay. It's your time now.
Wow. Okay. That was years ago.
Yeah.
But bless God, we are in, we keep moving. We bless God for life and for good health. So next question, Uncle.
Okay, great. So I just wanted to lay that foundation to say that, look, so that guy probably felt that this person attacked me. Why should they attack me? I'm a celebrity, and who are they? And sometimes I feel like that online. Not that one is proud. It's just that I feel as if, why should people get to throw stones at you with no repercussions? Now, that guy might have been wrong. I wouldn't have handled it that way. But shouldn't there be sometimes I feel like there should be some sort of repercussion for people throwing stones at you. Sometimes, look, no matter what anybody has achieved, we still have feelings, and those things hurt.
Yeah, I think that's where we just draw the line. We should realize that these same people we are attacking and throwing stones at, they have feelings, they have emotions, they have blood running through their veins, and they're just humans like us. They are just fortunate to be there and to be a face, unlike you that you are faceless.
Yeah.
And I think that's where people don't get it right. And they just throw shades and boom, because you're a celebrity, I can tell you anything, I can throw anything as you resonate. Yeah. So that's how they feel. So I think we all need to do better as humans.
Yeah.
Not just as Nigerians, as generally.
I don't get it. Anyway,
do better.
Moving on beyond that. So one of the names by which you call yourself proudly, you actually own the name and the badge, is Pamilerin Omo Iya Ologi.
Omo Iya Ologi.
Yes, which is Pamilerin, the son of the pap seller. Yeah, or Pamilerin, the son of the matriarch who sells pap. Yeah, so please tell me that story. That is very humble beginnings. Your mom actually sold pap, eko, ogi to raise you guys?
Yeah. Yes. So growing up, you know, my mom is one of those people that everyone needs in their life when we were kids, you know, because basically, your generation again, and basically maybe a part of my generation, if you ask them that growing up, if you line 10 people from your generation, Talomogi, who had Ogi, who had custard, probably 99% of your guys had Ogi.
Ogi Baba.
I don't think
Ogi
maybe you
Baba. The white and the pink.
You can even relate. So they know. I'm sure they don't give you custard.
No, they did. I am a jebota, but pap was.
We still had custard.
Yeah, pap
but
was.
You did not have custard. So let's be honest.
No, we had
your generation had Ogi throughout. A bit of my generation had Ogi as well and custard. And these are women that. These are women that will say, "Ekaro, logi deo," you know.
Amazing.
That's what I would say. Ekaro, logi deo, you know, and there was so how the whole thing started, or how I owned that name was, I was doing something in Abuja. I was sharing pads to girls, and somebody from nowhere just said, "Your favorite influencer is sharing pads whereby his mom sells Ogi," and somebody tagged me. And in normal me, back then on Twitter, I'm very wicked. If you give me trust me, I'll send you back to your house. You know, I will attack you. I will attack your generation. See, you'll be forced to leave the internet. So I already typed what I wanted to send to the guy. I already quoted him. But something just said to me now, come on, you'll be promoting other people's business. Why not promote this woman's business as well? You know, and I used that opportunity, you know, to promote that business. And boom, it blew up. In that week, the orders we got online were a lot that we stopped taking orders, you know, and the woman's business went viral, and now everybody knows Ogi Pamilerin. So it was that big, you know. And as I said to myself, it's not like she's stealing. She did anything wrong. Normal thing anybody could have done. Then when I changed my name to Pamilerin, people started embracing their parents' business. Something something Yonigi. So a lot of people embraced it, you know, and it became a movement at that point in time that everybody started talking about their parents' business, you know, something Boni painter, it was a lot, and it was really good. During that time, we worked with we started working with, my mom became ambassador to few brands. To some because I will not mention names because I don't know the sponsors, you know, and a face to one of your big milk brand, you know, and they sent till now they see sending gifts every year to my mom.
Awesome. See, this is the madness that I was talking about on the online space. What has your mom selling pap got to do with the fact that you're doing your work handing out pads somewhere? What I mean, how does that affect the price of pap in Ikare Ekiti? I mean, what's that got to do with the price of coconuts at Whispering Pals? What's that got to do with anything?
It's really crazy, but bless God.
Anyway, so great. So I feel as if since you keep referring to my generation, since you're the child of Leko, there are certain songs you should know. For example, you must have done, if you don't know this, I'll be shocked, whatever your generation. Ero mopule ni to mi lo, ba mi kiya mi eleko,
eko meji oyo mi, bam bam.
Okay, great. Okay, so that's one. And then coming back to what might be more recent, you must have felt as if this guy was singing about you. You must have felt a deep connection to Mayokun song. Ori ya mi eleko, jowo jalo. You must have a deep connection to that song.
That's Mayokun song. No, so when the song came out, it was really good. It was one of my favorite songs at that point in time when it came out.
Okay, awesome.
It was one of my favorite songs at that point in time. Yeah.
Awesome. But see how far you've come. So I'm reading online. In fact, I seem to remember that period when you produced a Hollywood movie. I mean, supposed to be Nollywood, but the extent to which you went was closer to Hollywood than Nollywood. So you put a yacht on the water. There was a helicopter. You were jumping out of helicopters, proposing to your fiancé. All of this just to propose marriage.
That's Shola's work.
I mean, that's how you propose marriage to your wife? Yachts, helicopters, and all of that.
That's Shola Showers work. I thought it was something so simple, but apparently Shola blew it out of proportion. I'm like, okay, I love it. You know, that was good.
I mean, do you feel as if, so let's be frank, did you do that purely for love, or you had an eye on what that will do online when it was leaked or when it was published?
So, because of, in as much as I'm a very, very lover guy, and I'm a lover boy, you know, at the same time, because of, I understood the kind of space that we are in, you know, you have to be intentional about every of your thing, every content from, so I was intentional from my proposal to pre-wedding shoot to wedding. Everything was being intentional, you know, to Valentine, doing billboard. It's intentional because you basically we do all these things for other people. I create ideas and the rest of it. So why not you go big or go home? It's Pamilerin, for God's sake. Let everybody know about it. You have to be different. And one thing Okushola will tell me is, Pamilerin, I'm clear. And you have to just be different. Can you soft work, you know? And if we just do it, I'm like, even when we did the helicopter thing, the helicopter almost disappeared at some point because we were late. But it still captured the entire thing and it was really good, you know? So I'm just always intentional because I realize that this is what I do. Brands want to see your they want to see how creative you are at some point. So if you tell clients, I do this for myself, they'll be able to trust you with their own content, you know, and that's just the old thing for me.
Okay, great. So there's this question that I'm dying to ask you. There are two, I don't want to use schools of thought. I use that phrase often. There are two types of thinking. Again, I've used thinking, thought anyway. So let's go with schools of thought. There are two sides of the argument. Yes, that's better. There are two sides of the argument as to what you should show online. Most of the majority of people seem to fall on the pepper them side. You know, you buy a car, you show them. You buy a house, you show them. You fly business class or first class, you show them. Your wife is beautiful, you show them. Your kids are beautiful, you show them. Everything, you must show them. Again, to gain some sort of momentum. And yet, not even my generation, because a lot of my generation don't even buy into this, it will seem. It's just that wisdom, ancient wisdom, principal wisdom states, and the Yorubas say that be shweni bata, amam for what bo jenny. Right?
Yeah, I get that.
Exactly. So, I mean, where do you stand on this? I do realize that we live in a world where you're posting a new Bentley is going to get you more heat and more momentum than you're posting your graduation results, right? But must you do it?
Yes.
Must you post the Bentley? Should you post the Bentley? Or is it that on that spectrum, there is a spectrum from what is garish and tasteless to how you can post your Bentley and be still have class? I mean, what should I do if I buy a Rolls Royce tomorrow? Should I not post it at all? Should I post it?
So for me, I don't think it's show off for some people. And this is where I stand here. I feel like you only tell the world, or you only show people what you want them to see. You want them to see this, show it. Be intentional. You want them to see this, show it. You know, but there are some things you will never show. You know, like some people can show wealth, they can show cars, they can show buildings, they can show them traveling first class, but you never see them post their family. You know, that's where that's their own. You will never see them post their family. And some people will post their family, post this, post graduation, but you will never see them posting flying business class. You never see them posting their houses. You never see them posting their cars. So I think that everybody has where they draw the line. And again, some people just want to show the world the entire thing and pepper their friends that are here to buy new cars, and they are here to graduate, or they are here to fly business class, and the rest of them. It all boils down to your personal perspective. Do you? As long as you don't hurt other people, that's my own belief. You know, you can't dictate. We can't dictate for people how to live their life and how to show, you know, how to behave. You want to show God's goodness in your life, go ahead. Go back to church, do testimony. You want the entire world to don't do it. sponsored posts, it is your life. But you know when to draw the line. The moment you are hurting other people, that's where I draw the line.
Okay. This just occurred to me to ask you. So I'm writing it. Look, from your experience, is this a security concern? Can you show too much online and get into trouble in this crazy and dangerous world in which we live?
At this point, the moment you are showing too much, Efcc will call you. Now they have carried somebody that they were spraying, that you are spraying naira abuse. You are spraying Bondo at parties, they will carry you now. So you cannot spray money again. Better do transfer it to their account.
But that is amazing. It's amazing the kind of people we are. That was passed into law, or that was a law, or that was mandated by the central bank under Charles Soludo as at 2009 or so. It's amazing to me how that has never been enforced, and yet we claim it's a law or a regulation. And now they pick one person.
But now it's not even the first person they picked. They've picked a couple people. In fact, I have friends they've questioned but never made it to this far. They find a way to wrap it up and sort their shit up and move on. But this one, but because everybody is talking about this person at that point in time, boom, is Mummy of Lagos. So everybody has to jump on it. EFCC also have to make a name that we arrested Mummy of Lagos.
I like that.
It's clout for everybody. We also see clout.
So even the EFCC is chasing clout in this. It's not just about doing the work. There is still clout, small clout chasing.
Because tell me why they did 3 posts for Bobrisky alone. Now they took it because everybody doing video. Kiniko. Every media agency, they are out there. It's FC of Buguabai like a clout. Everybody using for attention. I'm so sure their media person has met his or a KPI for the month.
So I can only say this again in Yoruba. Apologies to those who don't speak, but we're translating or we're transcribing or interpreting. It is because I always tell people that, look, all of us are, no matter how noble you claim you are, even when you claim you are noble, in the end, you're justifying how you feel about yourself and your own clout. There's none of us who is altruistic. Nothing. It's impossible. Even when you go to the orphanage, even when you do your charity, even if you do it under the cover of darkness and nobody sees you, you are hoping to get something from the forces of life.
You tell your wife.
Yes.
You tell your wife.
Yeah, you tell your wife.
Even if you don't tell your wife, you have this on your mind at the back of your head like, Mama, sure,
yeah.
I know that it will pay back in future. Why are you waiting for it to pay back? Why not just do it and do it for doing sake? Nobody does anything for doing sake. Nobody does anything for doing sake anymore. We do it. I help someone because I want to, like, so if I don't get the results, my children will get it. Why?
I just think it's impossible as human beings to be truly altruistic, which is why the concept of God exists as the being who surpasses all of us and can be truly altruistic. Okay, so still talking about posting things online. A lot of people say that those who flaunt their wealth online are emotionally broke, or they are broke inside. Surely you must have heard this, that those who truly have money, that the truly wealthy don't feel a need to post their... Exactly. What's your experience?
They don't see the need. But guess what? They employ people to talk about them. They will not post it by themselves, but other people will post about it for them. How are you if you don't see the need, but you are buying a private jet and somebody 30 miles away is talking about it? You don't live with this person. How did this person know you bought a private jet that is at the airport? You bought a new Bentley. Somebody else from the east is talking about it, not your family member. How did this person know you bought? So they don't talk about it themselves, but the ego is when they see people talk about it on their behalf. We are all the same thing. I'm sorry.
So everything is washing and setting.
To be honest, it's just that the strategy you used is different from the strategy Mr. A used. Mr. A is posting it by himself. I'm going to club, I'm popping. But you are paying other people to do the work for you. It's all the same thing. Strategy later.
Awesome. Everybody is a hypocrite. I like that. It's one of the reasons why one should never judge. It's why I try not to judge. In fact, I tell people that we can't help judge people. We can't help but to judge people. We all judge people. So I'm not telling you not to criticize people, but can you at least keep your criticism and your judgment to yourself? Tell your wife, tell your friends, do it in your closet. Must you come and do it online? When you're doing that, you're not doing it for any altruistic reason. You're also trying to chase clout. What is your problem? Face up to your own shortcomings.
You are looking for people's validation, looking for people to talk because you want that attention as your attention seeker. You are also looking for attention because if you don't want attention, why do you put camera in front of you? Talk about somebody else's problem. You want to, when you are done, you now post, you now say, I should edit this part. It's good. But you post. You write caption, you now post it. After you now post it, finish. You now leave it, you now go to the comment section. What are people saying? How many views? How many like? How many shares? What's the impression? What is the difference between you and who you are criticizing? Nothing.
Exactly. Look, I'm enjoying this. You see, because you see all these things on YouTube, you see, in fact, the ones that really get to me are the people who claim they are doing God's work and they are working on behalf of the congregation. And then they attack, especially in America, you see them attack the biggest pastors. They tear down the biggest pastors, especially.
No, they are doing this in Nigeria now. Now they do it in Nigeria now. On TikTok, there's this particular pastor that literally, I'm like, there was a day I said to myself, does this pastor not have other messages to preach his congregation on Sundays? Every Sunday, he's talking about a pastor A, he's talking about pastor B, he's talking about pastor B, pastor C. He's saying, how will pastor always tell me he had tea with God? How is that possible in Kiniko? A pastor that is older than you, that has been on it before you. But guess what? They are all the same thing. Maybe these new generation pastors, I'm sorry, I don't talk about men of God, but this one, when you go on TikTok, I know you may say what's TikTok again like this. When you go on TikTok, I'm sure people you are following yourself. How do I explain to you like a 2-year-old?
Don't worry, I am good. I know what TikTok is. I don't have it. Well, I do have it, but we don't use it. But I do know what TikTok is. Thank you very much. No, I don't. No, I don't use it.
Don't worry, there's no point explaining to you. Let's move on.
I know what TikTok is. Thank you. Or maybe I don't know what TikTok is. Continue.
So like you said, it's no longer the example you gave is no longer an American thing. Pastors here are also doing it now. Using other pastors as content. Insulting other pastors, turning their congregation against each other as content. Now, churches are seeing themselves as competition. Why? House of God and compete online. Oh, my father is the Kiniko. Our daddy is the Kiniko of the Kiniko. Our daddy is the youth pastor of the country. Kiniko. Why? Are they all not men of God? All of a sudden, they're all content creators at the end of the day. Let's be honest.
I like that. Everybody is a content creator, including the person who is criticizing the pastor. I mean, what I always think is, why do you people never criticize pastors who I've never heard about? Why do you criticize only the pastors that everybody knows? After all, as it is on top, it is below. There are pastors who are below too, who should be preaching what you will consider trash. So criticize those ones too. But you won't, because you won't get the traction.
That's contribute ourselves.
Okay, so your rise to becoming who you are. I heard from a little bird told me, in fact, you were the little bird who told me, it was one of your previous interviews, you used to work with my friend Adegoke in Black House Media. This true?
Very true. That's my mentor, Mr. Adegoke Samuel.
Okay, great. It's amazing how your life is just filled with all these references to Eko and Pap. Amazing. Only God could have written that script, because Adegoke's motto or your chant or your slogan in BHM is Ninu Ikoko Dudu.
Inu Koko Dudu. No, we put in chat.
Like put in chat. I mean, so what is it with you everywhere? Pap. I mean, it's amazing. Okay, so according to what you said, it was Ayeni who actually forced you out of BHM to become the person you are today. You had no intentions of doing this. He literally fired you and forced you out.
Yeah, he literally said, he said to me that day, and he said, Pamilerin, if you don't quit today, I'm going to sack you. And he said, if you don't make it in 3 months, come back, I will double your salary. And trust me, I left with the intention that I will not go and make it. Because you see that double salary, do you know what my salary was at that point in time? As a young guy, I was like, that double salary is what I want. Golden opportunity. And I left the first 3 weeks, I was so sure I was not going to make it. until the 4th week, God does say, "Well, you make it, you not collect that money," and boom, it was really big, and I'm really grateful to him. He foresaw it, and he figured that you could be more than what you are right now.
Yeah.
You know, come on, and here we are today. So I'm forever grateful to him.
Wait, according to that chronology, you actually made it. You became an independent force on your own within 3 months.
In a month, 4 weeks.
In 4 weeks, how did you do that? I mean, first of all, let's establish what you achieved in that. So in that month, what exactly did you achieve that made you an independent force?
So at the end of the 3 weeks, so I was home. The 3rd week, I was home spending my salary, savings, doing big boy, because I started earning money early. You know, all thanks to the big salary, started paying me early. You know, and the 4th week, someone just said, "Pamilerin, can you do this campaign?" I was like, "Yes, I can." And I almost declined. I'm like, looks like I'm bored. Let me do it. You know. And when it gave me when I saw the script and everything, it was good money. I was like, let's try it. You know. And I put everything I've learned together. Did this. It was an influencer market for a very big brand, and I did it. And my gain after the entire thing was like times 6 of my salary in a week. Wow. And I'm like, this money is sweet, though. So this is what ATG saw, that he asked me to leave. No. Then I started, and it's been good ever since.
Okay. By the way, for those who didn't understand his reference to ATG, that is Ayeni the Great. That's what my friend calls himself. Ayeni the Great, Ayeni the Magnificent, Ayeni the Fantabulous,
Another vampire like you that refused to grow.
Incomparable. Yes, Ayeni. Okay. So look, in 4 weeks. So all of this, if I had to take one instruction from that, is that all of this result was a result of mentorship and mentoring. It was all the time that you're put into serving Ayeni Adekunle that paid you within a month. In under a month, all that service and all that.
I literally started as an intern. So everything I know today started from BHM, from A to Z. Okay. You know, I entered BHM as an intern. I learned on the job for 7 months instead of 6 months. I did 7 months. So at the end of 7 months, I did an assessment. I was qualified. Then I became a full staff. So everything I know today from A to Z was BHM.
Okay. I hope you send his tithes regularly.
We call ourselves guys. That's my guy now. He has used to grow like you as well.
Ayeni is your guy now. Okay. I think Ayeni is older than I am, by the way, so bear that in mind.
Both of you are vampires. You are deep competition of who will grow first.
We will see.
Who will grow old first.
we will see. I read a tweet. You're a man of many interesting parts and characters. I read a tweet of yours online. In fact, I read several tweets. I had to write them down so that I could quote them verbatim, or as we say in Nigeria, verbatim. This is what you said. I cannot be ugly and have ugly friends. That's one you wrote. Was that a lie, or did you write that? Just yes or no, first of all.
Yes.
Okay, great. And then here's another one. Being ugly has its own advantage. I mean, I don't get what. Do you consider yourself ugly? How did this thought ever enter your mind?
No. So the thing is, yeah. Sometimes some contents are just contents, not like you mean them. So they're just content that people could relate to. Because when I say you are ugly, I cannot have ugly friends. Because what would they call your circle of friends? Ugly or sabi kilo back instead of friends. You know, somebody has to, it's like you saying I am poor. Otoshimaru. It doesn't make any sense. Something has to be different. You know. So if you are ugly, don't associate yourself with ugly people. Look for fine friends, so that can complement each other. So they don't see. So their beauty will cover your own ugliness. So that is the idea of the tweet.
So essentially, if you're broke, marry somebody who is rich. If you're short,
because if you marry somebody that is broke, if you are short, you not marry somebody that is short. You have to balance it. Okay, and that is life for you. The
comedian in me agrees with you. I had a joke like that. I used to say that if you if you have a bow leg and you want to get married, marry somebody that has a K leg, so that when the bow and the K meet, the children will have straight legs. Some along those lines. All right, but so you're into all of this stuff. You're doing your online. By the way, before we leave this online thing, how can a young person, you alluded to that in the beginning, but I just want to spend a more clear moment on it as far as instruction goes, because you no doubt have people you inspire right now. How can a young person from whatever background, humble, privileged, how can a young person become such a force as you are in the online space in Nigeria right now? What will they have to do?
Okay, so for a young guy or a young person that wants to venture into the space of digital, first of all, I'll tell you, discover yourself. Not because A is doing it, you want to jump into it, you may never make it. Trust me. And not because B is making money, you want to go and try it to make money, you may never make any dime. But first of all, discover yourself. If you think genuinely you have passion for this, then you have to discover your mojo. Is it that you're good in writing? Is it that you love camera so much, then you can open YouTube? Is it that you can write so well, then why not start writing journals and the rest of your newsletters? So different things, look for. And is it that you want to be controversial? My dear, by all means, do you. God will not allow you to get slapped about being controversial for a while. But because if you think you want to be really stupid, one thing you have to realize that you have to top up the stupidity with another stupidity, because it never ends. You never get that. It's like drug. The moment you get the first attention, you want more, and it's like cocaine. You want to be sniffing more. You want more. That's your happy pill. So you have to be consistently. Again, one thing I would say is you have to be very intentional. You have to be very consistent with whatever you're doing. If you started with A, continue, and slow pace. Like our elders will say, slow killing can wait days, but at this age and time, nobody wants to wait again. We just want to start and blow up, boom. So I would say be intentional, know what you want to do, read books, have mentors, speak to people, ask for opinions, along the line, people will tell you no, you get a lot of rejections. And what I always tell people is rejection doesn't kill. Nobody will know anybody rejected you. Move on to the next person. I know somebody will say, oh, the entire world hates me. Everybody is saying no. You've just asked 3 people and 3 people said no. Is 3 people the entire world? Move on to the next person, and you never can tell. You get it. And another thing that is very important is collaboration works in this part of life. Collaborate. Now, during fasting, I'll use an example. During fasting, I sell ogi, you sell akara. Imagine we collaborate ogi, akara as a combo. Do you know how much we are going to sell? So collaboration works so well. You write, somebody shoots so well and cannot speak good English, or can speak good English but doesn't have sense to write. You write the script for the person. Let the person speak it. Let the person face the camera and say all this. That's why we have script writers. You can be a good script writer. Why somebody else is good with facing camera, because only fine face, only fine voice, only accent. And you can be a good songwriter, and there's a talentless artist. What that is popular. Give your song to talented assets. Go for the talent. Collaboration, at the end of the day, songwriters, your name is there. They work by Grammy. If the person collects Grammy, you have your own Grammy certificate. Everybody is winning, So collaboration works so well, and you have to just embrace it. So, Choki Loge, this is not a masterclass. God bless you in Jesus' name.
Excuse me, please. What is a talentless artist? What? A talentless artist? I've never even heard that one before. That there are people who are actually celebrated who lack any semblance or iota of talent, and yet they are celebrated by the world. Wow, that's amazing. Okay, thank you. But you don't only do this. You've made such a presence in this, but you do other stuff as well. I was very surprised when I heard that you are also an artist manager. In fact, you manage some of the most bankable stars in Nigeria as we speak. Please relate those two things for me.
For life. I work with a couple of them.
I mean, how do you get from that to this?
It all started when I was working with Mr. Yeni, you know. So I think that was one of the things Mr. Yeni saw, and like, you can be more than being in that community road. You can be more than this. Go and explore. And I think that's one of the things he saw. So I learned that on the job, because at that point, I'm forced to want to mention names. Yeah, we're working with some telecommunications. Well, at some point, I was handling Orin, I was at the net. So we're working with celebrities as well. So it's easy. We do communication for these guys. So it's easy to be able to do it for other people outside. And so everything, again, all the wisdom, I learned it from one building in Community Avenue in Ikeja. And boom, my Oga said, oh yeah, go out and explore the world. And me too. I went out and I explored the world. And I exploited it very well, because this man, the way he explodes, the way you correct, can you explore? The way he explores in here.
Yeah.
You should understand what I'm saying. The way he, so I had to and everything balance.
By the way, I was watching you on some you did a couple of years ago for TV, and I wanted them to bring some ogogoro, put it by your side there, so that if I'd known, so that for every time that you were tending to yab me, you'd have taken about 3 shots of ogogoro right there. Every time you had referred to your generation, there should have been 3 shots of ogogoro for you.
I'll probably be drunk by now, because the number of times I've yabbed you, I'm sorry, I'll be drunk by now.
Yes, you probably will be. I will work on that for next time. All right, so let's talk the government and the online space. It seems one of the rather funny things that I see happening in Nigeria, and there are different sides to this argument. Sometimes it seems as if we put emphasis on the slightly not as important things. It's funny in the sense that I heard that the government is trying to, or they have tried several times over the years to sort of regulate the online space. If it is not those who are tweeting or those who are working online, it is those who are making skits and so on and so forth, because that space seems to be unregulated as far as taking money.
They are concerned.
Yes, as far as taking money from the practitioners in that space is concerned. It seems the practitioners in the online space, it seems they are making a lot of money. And it seems certain people, certain factions, certain parties in the government are uncool with the fact that money is coming, especially in dollars, and they have no part of that. And I keep hearing that they keep meaning to, sort of get in on that. Is this true? I mean, what have you felt in that area?
So first of all, I would say they focus on the things they should not even focus on. So when they started with that law came, and I'm like, so it was even so bad to them that they said, if you want to post, you have to send to them for approval.
What? Sorry, I never heard that. They said, if you want to post, you have to send.
See, I know, they have a body. I'm like, and guess what? The people on that body are old men from your generation.
Somebody give that man one bottle of ogogoro there.
There are people from your generation, they'll just sit down one day and say, kilo kuta ati she. Macaroni, o charge 3 million. They need percentage. We paying VAT on each skit. We paying kinikon on each skit, tin on each. See, they'll just sit down. So when that law came, and I'm like, so we have 100,000 content creators now. We will not send you. And you know how slow these people can even be. If we are going to do it, which we are not going to do it. They will not tell you, you abuse somebody's father here, remove it. Not fit for Instagram, you cannot post it. Or they will say, you are wearing mini skirts, not fit for the Muslim rights, remove it. Or they will say, your hair is not properly covered, not fit for a Christian lady, remove it, disapproved. How? Like, they just sit down, think of things when they are bored, and just push it out without reasoning. And that is where I see it. And I'm no offense to anyone if I take offense, because rubbish is more than share.
Okay.
And I'm sorry, because these things, does it happen abroad? I have content creators as friends. I have YouTubers as friends. Nobody monitors whatever they are doing with their lifestyle. To me, when Elon Musk started paying Nigerian influence Twitter people, they almost said, hey, they are paying you, so you have to start paying tax and VAT. Kudos to the Nigerian government. Okay.
So, as far as you know, how far with those their plans right now? Are they still on it, or was this something they just floated, or they were?
They still did something. I mean, something. They still made one of their laws again about maybe a month ago. I think it's whenever they are bored and they were like, so what can we do? The internet is so peaceful. Let us push out this new rule. Let us push out this new regulation. It cannot work. See, the moment they said that thing, some people were scared. Like, what's good? I said, this Nigeria, that we don't even know the number of people we have. How do you want to know the number of influence content creators that we have? How do you want to know the number of influencers that we have? How do you want to know the number of accounts that we have? See, area modern, they are all playing. It is boredom. When they are serious with business, they will let us know.
Okay. Nigeria seems to be like a hard place to do online business. And I'm talking internet reach, internet penetration, and internet speed. Consider, for example, that we've had a couple of interviews where we had to deal with internet disruptions, and yet you seem to have skated by that. Or is it that you have not skated by that and you're also having to put up with some of these inconveniences? Do you often tell yourself that, look, this is where I am, Nigeria, but man, if I were abroad right now with the facilities that those people have, man, would I not have done more than this? Do you ever feel frustrated or caged or restricted or sometimes held back by the limitations of the Nigerian infrastructural system or lack thereof?
So I'll be very honest here. We get caged sometimes, but at the same time, if you look at our system and the system abroad, it's easier to blow here than to blow there. You can easily make a name for yourself here faster than abroad, because now you have to start adapting to their environment. Look at all these Wale Simi YouTubers in the UK now that will say how to Kiniko in the UK when you come to the UK, how to Shega when you come to the UK, how to Shawo when you come to the UK. How many content now go any how to Kiniko when you come to the UK? No content, no brand is working with them, no brand, because it's a different system entirely. It's easier to make a name for yourself, because the system favors us a bit, but at the same time, what comes to disadvantage? Pamilerin, hey Jesus. What comes?
Don't worry. You do realize. Let me point out at this point that you do realize, Pamilerin, at this point that because you are my guest, I'm letting you skate with a lot of places where I should have been yabbing you, but I'm just trying to be a nice host. So I just want to put that on record. You are like a boxer who is opening up too much for me. Mind yourself. I won't let you skate again. This is the last one I'll give you. Okay, continue.
I'll be very careful now.
Okay.
The things that comes with the entire thing is bad, no good internet. No matter if I buy Starlink, my fuck up. Buy Kinecon link, my fuck up. If that one is not fucking up, if you think you have 247 lights, never will take lights. If at my estate, at some point in my estate, they will send you a mail, a letter, a text when they want to take like, dear Prestige, Kiniko, something between 2 hours, between 12 o'clock and 2 p.m. Trust me, it runs booking here. That thing can last 7 hours. We are not choosing for ourselves again. That is, you get, if I'm a quarrel for our country, nobody is truthful. They say 2 hours. Because you are paying so much, so they respect you. That's why they even send you text message. If you say he's a mushy, it will take like for 3 days and there's nothing your father can do about it. So that is one of the problems you face here. Bad internet, bad weather. Look at when you are outside, you take videos, you are fresh, even without filter. The sun is bright, the weather, everything is yum on your face. Well, go here now. Our sky is not even blue again, it's now white. You understand? So it's just the props, the things that comes with our country. But do you have a choice? You have to get used to it.
Pamilerin, you've been an amazing guest. You've paradoxically and surprisingly, you've given me more laughs.
Oh yeah, wait. What is paradoxically?
The paradox is A paradox is close to being, it's not ironic. It's when two things, when they, again, the word I'm going to use now, you're not going to know, juxtapose. When two opposing
Now, break
ideas,
that one now apart. Break it again apart.
opposite things, at least you know opposite. When two things that are not supposed to exist.
What is juxtapose? I mean, jokes,
Juxtapose. When you put them together. When I take, for example, okay, a good one is Nino Ikoko Dudu near Kofuti Jadi, right? You know, white pap comes from inside a black pot. That's not supposed to happen. You have black pot, you have white pap. So that is a paradox. You understand? Okay. The paradox of this is that you've made me laugh and I didn't see that coming. Is this who you are normally? Do people associate this with you? Are you this good time?
I can be like this if the country is not, if the system is not frustrating us.
And there you go again. Awesome. So how long have you been married now?
2 years now. 2 years in November.
2 years in November. And I see that I think I saw a post where there was you have a kid.
Yes. It's going to be 6 months in some days.
Well, congratulations, my brother. God's protection and love on you and your family, and long may your career continue to soar. The sky is not your limit. You go beyond that.
Amen. That's the point now. It's your generation. I would say the sky is your limit. Our generation,
no,
the sky is your starting point.
In my generation, they didn't. In my generation, they said
any limit.
No,
where you stop, we are starting.
No, that is good. That is good. They say that the Agbalagba say that Africa Omowaju. So we pray for you, our kids, to be bigger than we are. So
amen.
It is for you to do all of that. Now, post all of this on Twitter and let it blow.
We'll do that. When Okushola sends us the link, I'ma blow it up. And your highest views so far, you see this video.
Oh really? Oh, you actually say? Let me write that. You're actually saying that this video will have the highest views. What you're telling us?
I kid you not.
Okay.
But in generation you call it, it's not newspaper generation now.
Okay, I think while you have found your calling, I think you should also consider opening a bus park. Because sometimes you sound like the chairman of the local chapter of National Union of Road Transport Workers. So, just thought I should point that in. God bless you, Pamilerin. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, sir. All right.
All right. Regards to the family. Bye-bye.
I'll do that, sir. Bye. What's the end deal?
The Omoluabi people, what you know as the Yoruba people, they hold and they maintain that Taaba Bini Atuman Tuniraini Bini, which means that the circumstances of your birth or the situation into which you're born should never be an excuse or a reason for lack of achievement or for any other negativity about and surrounding your life. Since it is your responsibility to rebirth yourself or to reinvent yourself or to give birth to yourself all over again after you are born naturally. In short, they believe that it is not your natural birth that is as important as what you achieve with your own life. You can always rebirth or reinvent yourself after you are born, regardless of what family or into what circumstances you were born. See my guest today. See Pamilerin Adegoke, Ọmọ Ìyá Ológi, Ọmọ Ìyá Ẹlẹ́kọ, which means, by the way, that if you're watching this at this time and you have no idea what I just referred to, that means that you're seeing this out of sequence. We say this every week. So please go see the interview that came before this with one of the major factors in the online space in Nigeria right now. Pamilerin Adegoke, Ọmọ Ìyá Ológi, comes from a very humble background. But as you can see, not only is there nothing wrong with that, he didn't let that stop him. So first of all, let us talk about that. What is this impression that people have that if you come from a humble background, then that is a demerit on you? That is infantile to the point of stupidity. Because first of all, who chooses the circumstances of their own birth? If you could choose the circumstances of your birth, I'm willing to wager that you change and tweak a couple of things. None of us gets to choose. We don't get to choose how we come here. We don't get to choose when we come here. We don't get to choose to whom we're born, where we're born, when we die, and so on and so forth. So what's this thing we try to make people feel like they are less than they are because they come from a very humble background? Again, stupidity, ignorance to the point of stupidity and death. I mean, of course, there is also the onus and the burden that lies on each of us to be mindful of home. The Yorubas will say, "Rántí ọmọ ẹni tí ìwọ ń ṣe, rántí ilé ibi tí o ti wá." Remember your home, your background, and your pedigree. The point of all of this being something that you've heard 1,000 times. If you check in any generation on earth, you will find that the most successful people, or most of the most successful people, most of the achievers come from bootstraps to success. You will almost find that in almost every generation, the richest and most successful people are not people who had wealth handed down to them, but people who had to build it up by themselves. In fact, they say it takes one generation to make it. It takes another generation to keep it. It takes another generation to waste it. See, we don't get to choose where we're born, but we get to choose or have a lot of sway over the impact that we make with our lives. Number 2, before I let us go, both you and I, is the fact that mentoring and mentorship are very important. I wrote a book a couple of years ago called Forget Principles, Find a Mentor. And you can find it on Amazon right now as a joint volume with my first book, Secrets of the Streets. I know we live in a brave new world where everybody and their first cousin and their nephews and nieces are now authorities on their own. But serving people shortens the period of time that it takes you to become a master. Again, let's go back to Pamilerin Adegoke. Under just a month after leaving the man he served, Ayeni Adekunle, after just a month, in fact, in 3 weeks, based on all that he had learned and the time that he had put in serving, he became an independent force by himself. In fact, more importantly and more instructively, it was his boss who told him that it was time for him to step out. That is the way it has always been. It is always the master, at least the good ones, who tell the mentees or the proteges that it is time for you to step out. Of course, there are exceptions to the rules quite a lot of times where it is the mentee and the protege that actually feels that it is time for them to step out as well. It doesn't matter. They still step out with the blessings of the master. And then sometimes you have a wicked master and you have to step out without the blessings of the master. It doesn't matter. What really matters is, have you put in the time diligently and honestly? When everything is weighed objectively, did you actually truly serve that person to the best of your ability? If you do that thing, I promise you, whenever you leave them within the shortest possible time, you will stand on your own as a very successful master as well. Again, don't believe me. Just listen to what my guest said. Pamilerin Adegoke. So remember those 2 things. First of all, your background doesn't matter for nothing. Again, be mindful of your pedigree and your background when you are addressing other people as well. Don't step to people you shouldn't step to out of arrogance. Then they will remind you of your background. But outside of that, when you're just doing your work, you're working hard, you're working diligently, your background should never be a factor. It doesn't matter. All of us came from the dust. I don't care how far back in nobility your family goes. We can trace all of us back at least to one generation of nothing. I will say that again. I don't care how rich your family is right now. If we trace back, we probably don't even have to go back past 3 or 4 generations. We will find somebody in your family who was poorer than a church rat. So don't bring that thing. That's number 1. Number 2 is the fact that service under a mentor and to a mentor will save you a lot of time. Serve people with your skills. Give to them for free. It's the rule of the universe. It will come back to you and you will shorten the curve that it takes you to become a success for yourself. I'll see you on the next one.